So today I'm not here for another studio vlog. I really didn't think I was gonna make a video about this topic, and the only reason is because I'm so new to Etsy. But after thinking about it for a couple days and seeing all the videos, I was thinking maybe it's because I'm so new to Etsy that I should be making this video. So the reason I'm making this video today, and you could tell by the title, is to talk about this new Etsy policy and how basically, to summarize it, if you don't really know what I'm talking about, Etsy came up with this new policy that I think is going to start next month, and the policy says that if you Etsy seller, I guess in America, I don't know if it's in the rest of the world, if you offer free shipping for items, I don't know if it's item over $35 or total of the order being $35 that you give free shipping, you will be more seen and available in the search bar, if that makes sense. This is for American shoppers. So it feels like you're giving privilege to one country, Etsy being American, I guess. But Etsy is, I feel, like a niche and is also for international users, you know? When I lived in Belgium, I was already shopping on Etsy. It's not because I moved to America that I discovered Etsy. And I feel like these people sometimes are just looking at their statistics and looking through their computers and being like, 75% of users are Americans, therefore we're going to do this for American users, shoppers, store owners, you know what I mean? But the thing is, Etsy is becoming more and more popular for fan bases or people that are really into handmade things, and so it's a word of mouth, or it's people that go through Pinterest and from a link to another discover Etsy. In America, there's ad on TV, they went very public and they do a lot of communication. If they don't do that on the other side of the world, how can they, I guess, draw the conclusion that only Americans are interested in Etsy? Because that is also something that I got out of this new policy, adding privilege to Americans just because they are their main consumers or customers is not really fair, because they don't put the same kind of effort for international users. Also, postage fees come into the equation, because with living in Europe, you're already paying a lot of money to get things from America to Europe, and then you have to pay customs. I have seen scenarios where people were ordering something, not from me, but from other shop owners, and they did not know about customs, because either the person is young and doesn't have the experience, or they have just never ordered from America before, and then they have to pay customs, and they think it has to do with the shop owner who didn't do everything they were supposed to do, when in reality it's just what it is. When you read through everything, they say, would you like to change the your shop policy and put your shop with that new $35 rule or whatever. And then when you click on that and you say yes, I agree, blah blah blah, then they say, do you want to do the same thing for international users? So that's why I wanted to touch on this subject, because most people will be able to do it for America and Americans, but they won't be able to do it for Europeans or Asians for that matter. Etsy wants you to take into consideration, when you're making your item, the price of shipping the item. So let's say if you're selling something for $10 and it costs you $1 to make your item, and your shipping to America is at the most $5, then they want you to consider that you making the item costs you $6, therefore your margin should be $4, if that makes sense. Well, and then you offer free shipping. Well, technically, I watched someone's video that I will link below that was pretty interesting, because I do not think that this is actually legal to mislead consumers into thinking that they are getting something for free when in fact they're not. I'm just not sure of what the law is, but then at the end of the day, I'm sure this company has a ton of people in the back, a ton of lawyers that can just save the day. So that's besides the point, but yeah. So the main reason why I decided that even though I'm so new to Etsy, it was important for me to make this video is for that reason, because I am so new. And if you're watching this video and you're watching other Etsy owners, they can only talk about what can work for their shop and their history, and your situation as a brand new shop owner won't be the situation of someone who has 100 customers or 100 more visits that you have, because you are starting from absolute zero, where they have already built a fan base, a line of customers. I don't know how you want to call it, but they've been in the game. Even if it's like a year longer than you have, it can really make the difference in this change of policy. And so I figured that my opinion could have a certain value, because when you're watching other YouTubers and they say, well, I'm just going to go to Shopify and create my own website. That is great if they already have a following on Instagram, if they have already built something. At least they have done something through Etsy, and they're still getting some traffic, you know what I mean? Even if it's one order a month, it is more traffic than you behind your computer right now watching me and being like, I haven't even done anything. I was going to, and now I'm scared because with this change of policy, I don't know if it's worth it. So I get that, because I have started in June and I have just made one sale. I'm very grateful for that sale, but me not having a following or a big of a following like Elle Fowler, for example, which I will talk about her in a second, not in any negative way, but just a comparison. I can't just say, well, I'm going to do Shopify on the side, I'm going to do Instagram, I'm going to do this and that, because I am relying on Etsy search bar. I am relying on that. And so that's why I know this introduction is becoming very long, but that is why I wanted to bring my opinion to the table. So why I wanted to talk about Elle Fowler is because actually before this whole policy came out, and I don't know if she was aware of it or not, she made an announcement on her Facebook group that she was leaving Etsy and creating her own website, and actually was requested a lot on the group. A lot of people have asked her in a lot of Q&As, a lot of people have recommended to her because of the fees that she has, that everyone has to pay on Etsy, and everyone was like, we will follow you to another website. So she made that change, she opened her own website, and actually a couple weeks later Etsy announced this new change, and I thought, oh wow, that's good timing. So I don't know if she actually knew. It doesn't matter. It's not like, oh my god, she had some inside scoop she didn't share. No, it's her business. She doesn't have to do anything. Etsy is the one that has to be accountable for this. But so, for example, when Elle Fowler came on her group and said, hey guys, I'm not on Etsy anymore, I'm done, you guys can find me on this website, new sales, new this, new that, she had a following, she had people to be like, okay, we're going with you. And I think that's important, that's great for her, because she won't have to suffer the consequences of Etsy's random decision. And for a lot of shops, they can afford to do that because they have built the marketing behind, and that's nothing against them, because they had to do that job, they had to do the marketing, they had to do either it was the website, the Pinterest, the Instagram, the Facebook, however they built their audience. It's good that they have done that, and that's why it's so important that you don't just rely on Etsy. However, when you're starting fresh, like me and maybe you are counting on everything, but you're starting fresh everywhere. And the truth is, on Facebook, people are not trying to find, I don't know, I make glitter cups. I don't think people are typing on Facebook glitter cups. Or they might be doing that on Pinterest or Instagram, but they're not there to shop. They're not there with the intention of, oh, I'm going on Instagram or Pinterest because I want to shop. They're going to find inspiration. Hi, kitty. They're going there to find inspiration, to find ideas, to God knows what the reason is. And then they see your item, maybe, and then they think this is really cool. And then they go to another link, and then they end up on your Etsy, and then they say, I'm gonna put this shop in my favorite, this item in my favorite, or even they could just place an order right away. When someone goes on Etsy, they go with the intention of, most likely I'm going to buy something, or maybe I'm just browsing, but I might save this for later. The intention of shopping is primarily there because it's a shopping website, not I'm looking for ideas, or I'm trying to make a storyboard. So this is where the difference is, and this is why brand new shop owners are mostly relying on Etsy search bar. And why I'm coming up with the search bar thing is because with this new policy of $35, Etsy says, so if you give free shipping to your customers, we're gonna put you on the forefront of the searches. So let's say if I agree to give free shipping, Etsy, when someone types a glitter cup, Starbucks glitter cup, whatever, they are gonna see this before they're gonna see another shop's cups, because I have said yes, I'm doing the free shipping, because they want the free shipping to become the majority of what is on Etsy, because they are trying to compete with big name stores like Target, Walmart, God knows what. It is also not fair because places like Walmart, Target, even if sometimes they are marketplaces, meaning that it is a company putting their items on the website and then selling it on the Walmart platform, it is not fair game, because we are not making this with a wage of $1 an hour. It is sad to say, but some people in the world work for us to make things for $1 an hour, if that, honestly. Sometimes it's just $1 a day. Also, some people may be wondering, how can I make this possible for my shop if they want to? Right? Well, the only way you could still make a profit, give free shipping to your customers, is if the item you're selling is in high demand, but that is very light in weight. Let me explain myself. A sticker shop, for example. No matter how pretty the stickers are, I do not think that people are asking for more than, I would say more than $5 for a sheet, right? Maybe like some very exclusive fancy shop ask for $10 for a sheet, but I'm just gonna go with the $5 option because that's what I've seen on Etsy, right? A shop like that, a sticker shop that sells a sheet of sticker for $5, it might cost them, I don't know, $1 or $2 to make it, and they can probably make a ton within an hour, I'm just assuming. And a sticker sheet is something very light in weight. So the shop owner of a sticker shop who sells their sticker sheet for $5 and it costs them $1 or $2 with the packaging, with everything besides the shipping, they are making a profit of, let's say, $3 per sheet. Now, if they weigh that envelope, they're probably gonna get to a $1-2 fee of postage, I'm guessing. If they have to take that into consideration, they're already losing 80% of their whole cost, right? They're just making $1 at this point per sticker sheet. And so they're reducing their wage. It's still possible for them because the factor of the weight of the item allows them to do that. Now let's take an item that is, I would say, something more glamour. I just came up with an idea because I actually bought something similar to that. Let's talk about Disney ears, right? Like Mickey Mouse ears, whatever, for Disney. These in a store, I think at Disney cost $10, $20. I don't know, I don't remember at Disneyland Paris how much I paid for mine. But one day I bought a very nice pair from Etsy, and they were of Sleeping Beauty because she's my favorite princess, and they were very fancy, like just the way the lady who made it was like very nice. And like, actually, when I wore them to the park, I got a ton of compliment. The princess herself, Aurora, told me she loved them, and so many cast members told me they loved them. And so yeah, I was ready to put a lot of money for these ears. I think I paid them $30, and then with shipping it was $45, $50, because shipping from the United States to Belgium was about $15. Mini ears hold a lot of value, right? You can ask for more money than you would for a sticker sheet. It is very light in weight depending on what the material is. You can fit it in a very small box, reasonably small, and it is light in weight. Therefore, if you're shipping mini ears to the US, you're probably around the same shipping cost than for my shop. And I would say $3-4. If you make very fancy mini ears and you sell them for $30 and your cost of materials stays under $5, maybe under $10, you're still like at $15 profit per mini ears. It's not great, it's not fantastic, but you can afford to do that because all the factors are gathered together. You have a lightweight item that is sold for quite a bit of money. The manufacturer doesn't take you too long. So you have those three factors. And I feel like only with those three factors together, it is doable for your shop. I feel like when one of these three factors is not in the picture, it makes the whole thing fall apart. For me, for example, it's very hard to price my cups because they take me so long to make. I can make a good profit margin on them, but then it takes me 3, 4, 5 days to make one cup because it needs to be perfect, and you can't work with epoxy just like this. So to make one cup, it takes me so long that I will never be able to make a minimum wage out of it. I don't think I could ever do that. Even though they're lightweight, therefore the shipping is low, I would have to sell my cup for $50 to make a minimum wage at the end of the day. So that's the whole how can you make this work, right? Going back to the whole Elle Fowler thing, something I wanted to touch on. Etsy doing this is really not helping new sellers for this. The only reason that when you have someone like Elle Fowler on Etsy and like other big names, other big shops, they have a following, and so they attract a lot of people to Etsy, and they attract, for example, Elle Fowler being the YouTuber that she was, maybe people were not into stickers, maybe people were not into Etsy or did not even know Etsy, but she created her store and she talked about it on social media, and therefore she attracted people to Etsy, right? And then people see, oh my god, this is such a great website, I love the concept. They're going to start searching and they might find your shop. So thanks to Elle Fowler, you might get a customer or two. And it could be the same for all these big names of Etsy. And because of these new policies that big shop owners that at this point they're becoming businesses, small businesses, but businesses anyway, they're not going to stick around and take all this bullshit after working so hard. They're just not gonna stay. And so there's not gonna be any more big names on Etsy. There's just gonna be you and me and 3 Chinese people trying to resell some AliExpress bullshit. And then you're not gonna have those big names bringing customers to the platform, and you're just gonna be left with, maybe if you're lucky, people searching for something they think they could get, if that makes sense. You're gonna have a few people that are like big fans of franchises like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or whatever, but you're not gonna have random customer that just finds your item unique because it is handmade, because those customers are not gonna come on Etsy anymore. They're gonna go to whoever they see on social media, and they're directly gonna go to the source. For Elle Fowler, for example, it's the only big shop that I know of. I also obviously know Catnip Illustration. She hasn't talked on the subject. I actually think she left her website for Catnip on Etsy. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think she mentioned that. I don't know what it represents for her, for example, because I think she's getting more and more US customers, and so I don't know what this whole policy. At the end of the day, what does it mean for us new Etsy owners? Etsy shop owners? Well, it depends. Do you have those 3 key factors that I talked about? If you do, you're fine, but you're still suffering from the loss of all these big names that are leaving Etsy. If you do change your shop to allow this $35 policy, you are shooting yourself and everyone else in the foot, because if one day you create something that doesn't have these 3 key factors, then maybe you're not going to be searchable on the search bar, and you're not supporting everyone else on Etsy. And this is a community at the end of the day. I am not judging you and your decisions of what you want to do. If you can afford it, do it. I did it for about 3 days, and then I watched a couple of YouTubers who have said that just for the sake of it and how long they've been on Etsy, they will not support this, and therefore I took it down. But that is my decision to take it down. No one should feel forced or think that they should do something because of somebody else. Pretty much it is ruining the sense of community on Etsy, because they're putting one community that can afford it against another community that can't afford it, and it's not their fault that they can't afford it. People should not just assume that things are free. If shipping costs something, then someone has to pay for it, and they want something delivered to them, they should be paying for it. I have paid $15 for my $30 ears. I paid a total of $45. I would have never wanted this girl to have to pay the shipping cost, because imagine if it cost her $15 per ears to make them, and she then has to pay $15 for shipping. She doesn't make a single dollar. So that is just not fair. So therefore, that's why I personally took down the $35 shipping, even though my shop could afford it, because it would have meant that people have to buy 2 items from my shop. So it would have been doable. However, not internationally, and that is the big question mark, because it is leaving the foreign customers out of this whole thing, and it also makes them expect that we can do free or very low shipping, when at the end of the day we do not make the prices. Whether you work with USPS, UPS, FedEx, whoever, you're not the one deciding how much you want to pay for the shipping. It is misleading, it is not guiding shoppers in the right direction. But so if you are a shop owner, let's talk about the other possibility, is that you are a brand new shop owner, 0 visit on the list. You want to open your shop and you can't afford to do that because you want to open a sticker shop, because it takes you 5 days to make the item, because whatever it may be, your item is very heavy. It could be very easy for you to make. It could be a lamp that you're making and you make it in like an hour, but it's just very heavy, and so it costs you $50 to ship it across America. So not even on the other side of the world, but just to America, it's very expensive for you to ship. Well, and you don't, also I want to say that you have absolutely 0 following on other social media, other platforms. And so you're wondering, well, how am I gonna get it through? How am I gonna make this work? Well, you only have a few options. You could say, I refuse to get on Etsy and I'm just gonna do it on my own. Who knows? If you stick with YouTube, you stick with Instagram, you stick with Facebook, maybe. It is a big question mark, because it is at this point going to rely on your own ability to sell something, on your own marketing skills. Can you pull this off without Etsy search bar? Most likely, but a lot of people get on Etsy to get that first boost, that first customer, that first visit, because it is organic after all. That's how it should be. The Etsy search bar should lead the people that are looking for something, for a precise item, to a maker that makes that specific item. It's like a shortcut. That's why it was. Me personally, I do not think you should give up on Etsy. I do not want to give up on Etsy, because it's kind of like my backup plan for when my Instagram game or social media game is weak. However, I absolutely 100% think that we brand new shop owners can rely on Etsy by itself, because unfortunately I don't think it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to get easier to be recognized, because there's more people getting on Etsy, there's more people leaving Etsy, but there's more and more people getting on Etsy, and it's not for it's not for the good reputation of Etsy. So I think it is going to be harder, but I also think if you put in the forefront of your shop that you do make things handmade, that you do not cheat the system, it could be rewarding. With that being said, if you do not have any marketing skills, if you come from being a nurse or a teacher, someone that has no economics background, no marketing background, nothing like that, I would encourage you to get on platforms like EDX with online learning classes. I would not encourage you to spend money on like scammers on Facebook that say they're going to help you make your first sale in whatever how many days. Do not pay for these classes. They will not help you. In my opinion, I do not think these people are only successful because they have people that are desperate, that want the magic key. The real thing, the real magic trick is marketing, is how you market your product and yourself. If you don't want to market yourself because you don't want to be in front of a camera, that's not a problem. Market your product then. It should be create a story behind your product. So what I would encourage you to do is go to a store like Barnes & Noble, whatever bookstore you have, or even a library, and read everything you can on marketing. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to do any of these things. You just have to read whatever information is available on how you can market yourself. So people will find you on whatever social media, Instagram, Facebook, and you will be able to bring them to your Etsy account. You could create a free website on Wix. I have done that. It doesn't bring a lot of traffic, but at least it's a portfolio. It's something. Just make it simple. Especially if you don't have any following, don't spend like 1,000,000 hours working on that website unless you like to do that. But if you don't and you just want this to be another platform, just make it easy. Just upload your pictures, change the informations. You don't have to write lengthy articles and have 12 pages. You just have to have something with your name on it, with your brand. And at the end of the day, it comes down to all these little marketing tricks, your logo, your name, everything that will build your identity, that you will be able to talk about on social media without harassing your friends like members of MLM. And then you can bring them to your Etsy. And then you can hope that maybe your search bar is going to help you to bring some traffic. And then you can gather the two. You can gather all the social media tools that are still working so far and your Etsy shop. And therefore, you won't have to offer a nonsense free shipping. And me personally, I'm not giving you all these tricks by saying, hope that works for you. I hope that works for me too. Me sitting down right now and making this video, I'm hoping it will bring traffic to me so people will pay attention to what I'm doing. And I still, guys, have such a long journey ahead of me, but I have time for that journey. I do enjoy my craft. I do enjoy what I'm making and sharing with you guys on YouTube more than I want to sell, to be honest. I do love the fact that some people have my cups. At least I know one customer has my cup, and that she goes to Starbucks with it and she might receive compliments, and that people might take them to trips to Universal or to Disney, wherever. And I just want that. I just want to be proud of myself creating something. And so for me, all the social media is not work. I don't see it as work. If for you, you really do want to make that minimum wage, not like, oh, minimum wage is like, woohoo. But if you do want to make a paycheck and a living out of it, with this new policy, whether you want to adopt it or not, even if you can afford it, you can't just rely on Etsy. If Etsy drops you tomorrow, Etsy says we can't sell your item tomorrow because it goes against their policies, their new policies. Me selling a Starbucks cup tomorrow, my shop can be taken down. You know what I mean? You have to be able to be like other big name shops and say, I have a following on 3, 4, 5 platforms. And that is a lot of work. A lot of Etsy shop owners, I will take Kathleen for example, has said in her videos, I spend more time doing the marketing, the social media, than I do making the items. I actually don't know if it was Catnip or someone else. I'm pretty sure someone said that. It's just what the game is these days, and there's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. Me personally, like I said, I think I've already said this, but out of respect for people that have been in the game before me, solidarity, I guess you call, for other shop owners who can't afford to do that, I've just decided I'm not gonna follow it, and I'm just hoping that Etsy will just drop this bomb, like just not do it. I mean, not drop the bomb, but just like put the bomb on the side. And I hope Etsy will go back to its roots, and instead of harassing copyright lawsuits for like Disney or whatever, instead of harassing small shops that are just doing their thing, they're gonna try to pay more attention to fake stores that are just reselling things from literally Etsy. Unless someone is selling something, like putting it on Etsy because it is useful to what they are selling. I will take like my case for example. Some people are selling glitters for people who make cups like me, for example. Well, it is pretty useful that I can find glitters that I would not know where to find on AliExpress or whatever. I would not know how to find it, so it's pretty useful to have the platform Etsy to get something that I would not necessarily know how to find on Etsy. But when it comes to a lamp, for example, like a finished product like that, I do not like that some shops are just buying on Etsy, on AliExpress, and then just reselling. When it comes to a finished product, it should be made by someone and not just wrapped with a bow and say, hey, here's my craft. No, it's just not your craft. If you want to open your store tomorrow and you don't have those, again, the 3 factors that make it possible for you to sell with free shipping for $35, I don't want this to be discouraging. You know what I mean? Like, just do it. You haven't waited all this time for you to just tell yourself once again, no, I can't do this. You can. It's just all up to you, and you can do it one step at a time. You can put one item. If you have one item to sell and you can't sell it with free shipping, and you're thinking maybe this won't work, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. You will be proud of yourself for having done the work. And then behind that, bring your social media game on. If you don't have an Instagram, if you don't have a Facebook page, if you don't have anything, do it one social media at a time. Create a Facebook, create a page, have it set up, post your item. Make sure you've taken all the good pictures, everything. do it for Instagram, and then repeat for Pinterest. Keep going at it. Start a YouTube channel. If you don't want to put your face on it, you don't have to. Most of my videos you don't see my face because I'm just too lazy to put on makeup or anything else. So I'm just like, they want to see the product, they don't really care about my face. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope it was useful for brand new Etsy shop owners, and because so many videos cater to either the fans of those big shop owners, because people want to know what is next. When will I be able to get your product? Will you change your prices? What are you gonna do? What is your opinion? Because I'm a customer and I love your work. Will you try to cheat me, right? And then you have other people that watch out of curiosity because they like Etsy and they're wondering, hey, what's this drama all about? And then you have the new people that are also watching and thinking, damn, does this mean that it's the end for me? Or does this mean that I can also do what they're doing? And quite frankly, I don't think we can do what they're doing. Because if they are talking to 100,000 people and saying, hey, I'm gonna go there, you guys should come with me. When you are doing the, hey, you guys should come with me, you're not talking to 100,000 people. You're talking to 3 friends. I mean, I don't know how many friends you guys have, but you know where I'm getting at. So anyway, I think I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So yeah, if you guys have Etsy shops, if you're thinking about any ideas, if you want recommendation, help, anything, leave your opinions. Anything you want to talk about, just feel free to talk about it in the comments, and I'll be there responding and being as supportive as I can be. And if you have a shop, if you've just started a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, if you're super successful, whatever the case may be, feel free to leave it below. I will go check it out. And also your social media, whatever. Take the opportunity actually to show yourself. And I hope this video was helpful in any way. I really do hope so. For the next video, hopefully it will be the part 2 of my last video. My last video was the geode cup that I just started making. Super excited about that. I will be working on that cup this weekend, so hopefully you'll get that video on Tuesday. So yeah, I think I've talked about everything there was to talk about. Thank you guys for watching this long video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly hope you learned a few things from this, and that I had some helpful tips and advice, and I was able to clarify a few things for you. I hope you guys are going to have a good day, or you had a good day, or going to have a good night, a good rest of your week or of your weekend, whatever it may be, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!